So it's Friday, and what goodies do I have to start the weekend for you today? Well, how about a one-hit wonder that scored its lone #1 chart-topping hit on this day in 1974? An absolutely dreadful song, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to call you out. If you happen to be around in 1974, what were you doing listening to this song? Who bought this song? Who bought this song? And by the way, this group actually had another #1 song in the UK that became a #1 song in the US, but it wasn't by them. And it happened in 1974 as well. And I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Now, yesterday, if you happen to be a customer of mine, I told you it was the worst baseball card I had seen in the past 7 weeks. I mean, it was a dreadful card. Now, you know, I don't like stepping away from the table when I'm on a roll. But at the same time, you also know I don't believe in forcing a play. So because yesterday's card, shall we say, sucked, I decided to dip my toes into preseason. And I walked away with a 5-dime winner on the Green Bay Packers, who absolutely obliterated the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, it was only a 5-dime play. But, hey, a win is a win. Are we going to complain about taking money from a bookmaker? Not me. I mean, when you go to the cashier's window and you say, hey, let me have that winning ticket cash, nobody's going to say, oh, I'm sorry, it's only for a little, it's not for a lot. No, just give me the money. Give me the money. That's all that matters. So, scored with the Packers. I ain't going back into football tonight. It's baseball, baby, and I'm going right back with another Raise the Bar 20-dime release. Number 15 out of 20 since 4 Fridays ago. As I go for winning day number 34 out of 49, it goes on the early evening card. It's my home opener, Dominator of the Week, and you get it for half price off, just like all the other 20-dime Raise the Bar plays over the past 4 weeks. Half price off by using coupon code RAISE, R-A-I-S-E. And the other hot handicap here at the site, I have to give him props, would be Jeff Benton. Last night, yet another 150-dime winner. And tonight, 150-dime up the ante winner, number 7 in a row, late night bailout lock, Dodgers in Seattle. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code BENTON150, B-E-N-T-O-N 150. Last night, made number 6 in a row, Colorado 5-3 with the rally over Atlanta on the road. Today, baseball winner number 14 out of 19 and 8 out of 9. $10 bettors have won $9,725 with his last 19 releases. So, all that and more, and your other discounts and promos are over on the home page. Before I get to your complimentary play, let's talk about this day in history. On the birthday front, many, many wishes going out to Robert De Niro. Of course, De Niro, one of President Trump's biggest fans. Yeah. Yes, born on this day in 1943, Sean Penn. Born on this day in 1960, 58 years old for Sean Penn, and now deceased, but born on this day in 1921, one of the most beautiful actresses. Oh, with that red hair, Maureen O'Hara. Miracle on 34th Street, of course. Just beautiful. And The Quiet Man, great movie with John Wayne, 1957, I believe. Anyway, she was born on 1921. Now, let's get to that music trivia. On this day, in 1974, one of the all-time worst one-hit wonders, Paper Lace, The Night Chicago Died, knocked Roberta Flack's Feel Like Making Love from the top spot on the Billboard Top 100 hit chart, taking over. Yes, one-hit wonder without a doubt. Now, here's the irony. Paper Lace actually had a #1 hit in the UK. This was a #1 hit in the UK. They actually had a #1 hit earlier in the year in the UK, and that song was, yeah, listen, I might as well tell you because there ain't no way you're ever going to get it. It was actually a #1 hit here in the US as well. However, they did not do that song. It was actually Billy, Don't Be a Hero, which I think was done by Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods, I think it was. Anyway, yes, Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods, H-E-Y. Billy, Don't Be a Hero, which actually had a 2-week run. They covered that song. So rather than being scooped once again, Paper Lace came out and did that song, immediately pushed it out to the United States market and scored their own #1 hit. So it got me thinking, it's like, what was going on in 1974? What were you people doing in 1974? Because after that 1 week reign, try to say that phrase quickly, 1 week reign, 1 week wane. Tough. Reminds me of Gilda Radner and Saturday Night Live from years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Very tough to say that. 1 week reign. Blah, blah. Anyway, after that chart-topping hit, that song was then knocked out of the #1 spot by an equally bad song, You're Having My Baby by Paul Anka and Odia Coates, which was then #1 for 3 straight weeks. But I went back to the Billboard charts for 1974, and I'm looking at the diverse number of songs that were #1 that year. It started with Time in the Bottle, good song by Jim Croce. Then The Joker by the Steve Miller Band. Show and Tell by Al Wilson, which is just a great song. Al Wilson, Show and Tell. You're 16 by Ringo Starr. The Way We Were, okay, Barbra Streisand. Love Scene by Love Unlimited Orchestra. Way We Were, Barbra Streisand takes up again. And then an equally awful song, Terry Jacks. We have warmth, we have fun, we have seasons in the sun. 3-week run. Dark Lady by Cher. Sunshine on My Shoulders by John Denver. Hooked on a Feeling. What? How does Hookah Shaka? Isn't that how it started? By Blue Suede. Benny and the Jets. 1 week at the top spot. 1 week. The Locomotion, a remake by Grand Funk. A novelty song. 3 weeks. A novelty song. The Streak by Ray Stevens. Band on the Run. Great song by Wings. 1 week. Knocked out of the #1 spot by Billy Don't Be a Hero. What were people thinking in 1974? I'm telling you. Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. Rock the Boat, the Hughes Corporation, which I think was the #1 selling song in 1974 overall. Rock You Baby by George McRae. Annie's Song by John Denver. I Shot the Sheriff by Eric Clapton. I'm looking at Rock Me Gently, Andy Kim. I Honestly Love You, Olivia Newton-John. God, was she beautiful back then? I mean, I was just a little kid. Was she not beautiful? I mean, who wasn't in love with Olivia Newton-John when you were like 6 years old? Nothing from Nothing, Billy Preston. I mean, Then Came You, Dionne Warwick and the Spinners. You Haven't Done Nothing, Stevie Wonder. Now that was a great song. I mean, Stevie Wonder at the peak. Whatever Gets You Through the Night, John Lennon and Plastic Ono Band. I Can Help, Billy Swan. Another awful song unless you like a lot of organ. And then we get to the end, guys. I just got to give you Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas. Cats in the Cradle, Harry Chapin. If you have a son, you can't, you got to listen to that song if you're a father. And then Angie Baby by Helen Reddy, the final #1 song in 1974. So, sometimes I come up with these things and I go back and I look and I'm thinking, again, what were you people thinking in 1974? Okay, so listen, we get to the complimentary plays now because that's enough music. In baseball tonight, I like the Yankees on the run line at home, plus $1.15, laying the 1.5 runs against the Toronto Blue Jays. Listen, Lance Lynn has been a savior since coming over to the Yankees. I bet him in his last game on the run line. The Yankees bullpen, Zach Britton in particular, blew it for them, but they came back and won that game. He made his relief debut for the Yankees August 1st with 4 1/3 innings of 5-hit shutout ball and struck out 5 against the Orioles. His first 2 starts at the White Sox, 7 1/3 innings, 2-hit shutout ball, 9 strikeouts. At home against Texas in his last start, which was a win for the Yankees, 5 innings, 5 hit, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. So, in 3 outings for the Yankees, 16 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 1 run, 22 strikeouts. This is not the guy who, in 20 starts for the Twins, had a 5.10 earned run average and a 1.63 whip. No. Marcus Stroman is going for Toronto. Now, in his last 2 starts, both at home, he's pitched well. Against Tampa and Boston, 12 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs allowed. And it lowered his earned run average on the season to 5.03. Not exactly spectacular. On the road this season, he has a 5.33 earned run average in 9 starts. His last road start at Oakland, in 5 innings, he gave up 11 hits and 7 runs. He's 0-2 in 2 starts this year against the Yankees with a 9.71 earned run average. In his lone start in the Bronx this year, he gave up 8 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Last year in 5 starts against the Yankees is a 5.32 ERA. And 3 starts in the Bronx last year, he went 0-2 with an ERA of 6.75. Even though the Yankees have not been playing well, they're only 4-4 on their current homestand. They are still 42-20 at Yankee Stadium this season. I think that's worth laying the 1.5 runs with the Yankees. Let's talk about a little preseason football action here this evening. God, not a lot of games that I really like, but listen, I did all the research, so let's talk about these games. In the Detroit game against the Giants, you have Pat Shurmur and Matt Patricia, who are both looking for their first wins as rookie coaches. The Giants last week allowed 333 passing yards to Cleveland in a 20-10 loss. Still showing that they have problems with that secondary. The Browns, of course, won that game, even though they had 13 penalties for 141 yards. Meanwhile, Detroit couldn't stop the run against Oakland, giving up 149 yards in that 16-10 loss to the Raiders. But, of course, Matthew Stafford and their top 3 receivers didn't play in that game. Jake Ruddock and Matt Cassell were the quarterbacks for the Lions. The New York quarterbacks last week were a combined 22 for 45 for 193 yards. None of them played well. The Detroit offense, only 253 total yards against Oakland. I lean a little toward the Lions minus the 3 here playing at home. I would go ahead and buy down the half point, but really not endorsing the play. Let's talk about Atlanta taking on Kansas City. The Chiefs lost 17-10 to Houston. Patrick Mahomes, limited action, 5 for 7 for 33 yards. The problem with betting the Chiefs in the preseason is the problem with betting any team that Andy Reid has coached ever, that being the Eagles or the Chiefs. He simply doesn't care about the preseason. Career preseason record of 35-42 straight up. The defense had no sacks for Kansas City against a rebuilt Houston offensive line. The Falcons' offensive line allowed 3 sacks, however, in a 17-0 loss to the Jets. Now, Matt Ryan only played 1 series, so your quarterbacks for the Falcons last week were Kirk Bennett, Matt Schaub, and Garrett Grayson. They were a combined 21 for 36 for 217 yards and 1 interception. So my thoughts on this game is, if you're going to play it under or stay away. Carolina is a 3-point favorite tonight against the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins last week, 393 total yards, 277 of them through the air, and a 26-24 win at Tampa. Keep in mind, however, they trailed 16-10 at halftime. Ryan Tannehill, his first game action back after suffering the knee injury last year, played okay, 4 for 6, 36 yards in limited action. But your main culprits at quarterback were Brock Osweiler, 10 for 21, 83 yards. Third stringer David Pales, 8 for 11, 115 yards. He was the guy that started San Jose State, I think it was a couple of years ago. And Bryce Petty, who was 4 for 7 for 53 yards. As for Carolina, totally outplayed at Buffalo. They rallied from a 17-7 halftime deficit, won the game 28-23, scored 14 of their 21 points in garbage time in the fourth quarter, okay? Their defense, Carolina's allowed 443 total yards. Cam Newton looked good, 6 for 9 for 84 yards. Garrett Gilbert, who's vying for the backup quarterback job, 7 for 12, 93 yards and a touchdown. Carolina's injury-riddled offensive line is going to go against a stout Miami defensive line, which probably is going to get about a quarter of action. Tough game to call because, again, you just don't know if this Carolina, defense is going to show up here in this contest. So, again, another difficult game to call. The game that I do like is Cleveland minus the 3.5 at home against Buffalo. Now, you got Taylor, the Cleveland quarterback, cast adrift by Buffalo, who looked good in the win 20-10 against the Giants last week. He played a couple of series and was 5 for 5 for 99 yards and 1 touchdown. He's probably going to play at least 1 quarter. Baker Mayfield made his rookie debut, 11 for 20 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns, playing a half last week against the Giants. He's going to play, but Hugh Jackson wants to see Drew Stanton, the veteran, see some action here tonight because the number 2 quarterback job is not sewn up here for the Browns. It is not going to be by default Baker Mayfield's. So Hugh Jackson wants to see him play as well. So Taylor might play 4 or 5 series, and you might see Stanton and Mayfield split the rest of the duties. The Bills, of course, as I told you, lost to Carolina, up 17-7. Garbage time is what cost them the win. Nathan Peterman started last week. It's probably going to be A.J. McCarron. But you could see Josh Allen, who saw a lot of action with the number 2s this week in practice, see significant playing time. So word has it that it could be McCarron starting. He was 7 for 10, 116 yards last week. With Josh Allen, who was 9 for 19 for 116 yards and 1 touchdown, seeing bulk of the playing time in the middle portion of that game. And then Peterman, who started and was 9 for 10 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown against Carolina, maybe finishing up. Listen, the Bills' offense definitely produced 443 yards, as I said, against Carolina. So you got a Browns team that was 0-16 in the regular season last year. But keep in mind, the Browns are 5-0 straight up and against the spread in the preseason the past 2 years. And this is a team that is looking to build some momentum and build something positive in this new organization, which other than Jackson in the front office has been totally rebuilt as well. So I think it's important for Cleveland to get that momentum and to build off the momentum of last week's road win. And I like their quarterback rotation here as well. So I like Cleveland, and I would go ahead and I would lay the half point here with the line anywhere from 3 to 4.5 points, and I would take the Browns as your top preseason pick tonight to go along with the Yankees on the run line. That'll do it, and I'll talk to you again.